Welcome back to the Tydarium Hangar. This is Mike, and I'm coming at you with another video. This time I want to talk to you about X-Transbots and the crazy pricing of their trailer, why everybody's upset. My take on this, I have taken a little bit of time to think about it, because if I initially made a video, it would have been simply, I am completely out on it. But I'm going to talk to you about several different angles of this situation. And then if you're still undecided what you're going to do, if you were in on this set and now you don't want to drop $300 for the trailer and the parts, then I got some recommendations at the end of this. So we'll talk about all this coming up. So the big problem here is that X-Transbots basically just dropped the price for the trailer. When I say dropped the price, they let us know how high it's going to be, and it's $229. $229 gets you the trailer, which should combine your Minosaur. So there's also the accessory pack, which is an upgrade kit. Now that itself is, I believe, superfluous. I think it's just extras that you could use to spice the thing up, and also to probably make it look a little bit better, a little bit more well-rounded, since they did re-engineer this entire trailer. So the original ideas and designs probably didn't work as well. Now they added these parts on to make it look better, but does it really? So I started on this adventure here with X-Transbots, and I decided to dive in and start with their Minosaur, with their Crack Up, and that's their version of Breakdown. And it was $40. I hear some people got them for like $35 or $32. And the thing about this, it was $35 or $32, but the standard price was $40 for this guy, because there was another company that was threatening to KO it, and they undercut the price, and Keith won. Well, that's great. But it set an expectation to everybody what the price should be. So by the time I got the second version, the second limb, I realized that there's kind of a price increase, a hefty 50% price increase. That was a $60 figure. Now I got mine at Show Z for like 52 or something, but that figure made me want to make this video. Is X-Transbots trying to swindle us with the Minosaur? And that was back in like February 27th of 2019. So that's almost 2 years ago. I had no idea they'd come out trying to charge us $300 to combine these things. Now, this was viewed as a budget option by myself, by everybody else around, and then everybody in the comments section, they were defending X-Transbots for the price increase, because they talked about the whole KO situation. The first one was way underpriced to undercut those guys, and now they're going to a normal pricing of $60. So I kind of actually jumped on that same bandwagon. I'll try to link that video down below for you if you want to check that one out. But this is the time frame where we all just got done assembling the Zeta Superion. And I have to tell you, first of all, I don't enjoy this whole process of buying a bot and waiting for the next one to build this combiner over a year, 2 years, 3 years. Who knows how long some of them take. Some of them take 5 years. But we did finish Zeta. Zeta was pretty quick. It was like a month and a year and like 2 or 3 months. This was a pretty decent combiner. Now the individual bots not that great, but I was pleased with this. So that's kind of what I was thinking. We'll have the same similar experience with X-Transbots, hopefully, and hopefully it will look good together on the shelf, and that seemed like it would work out really well. You see, Zeta had sort of re-established the expectation in the market of what's going to happen with a combiner. Now this is a 5-figure combiner versus the Toy World and the 6-figure combiner. So there's a big difference there. But the whole thing about this is that it's $60 a limb, and then $130 for the main bot, includes the combiner parts. Bing, bang, boom, it's all done. I expected, and everybody else that I know expected, X-Transbots, DX9, they were going to follow the same exact formula. Now looking at DX9 versus X-Transbots during that time frame, you'd say the DX9 was 100 and X-Transbots was 40, but really 60. We all sort of knew 60 was a go-for-it basis. They eventually went to like 72, 75 or whatever, but 100 versus 60. Budget option X-Transbots. How is it a budget option? Well, the figures are smaller, there's less plastic. It seemed like it made sense. DX9 was up front, $100 per figure. And so, yeah, the more expensive option's DX9, the cheaper option X-Transbots. X-Transbots was following the Zeta pricing. So we thought. So somewhere along the line here, Fans Toys, those are their hat in the ring here. They're trying to make a Minosaur also. But of course, everyone's going to expect the Fans Toys to look the best and cost the most. So it's one of those things that I never ever thought I would see myself in on 3 sets. And yes, I am, or sort of am, in on all 3 of these sets. And so looking at this, I already expected Fans Toys to cost the most, and I really never even planned to use them in combined mode. I really just wanted to get each one of the figures for the bot mode because I know the bot modes look so good. It'd be kind of a waste having great looking bot modes all combined into this combiner. Let's combine maybe X-Transbots or DX9 and have the good old Fans Toys in bot mode. So then DX9 drops their Motor Master, and their Motor Master looks good. I was surprised. I actually looked at DX9 as being the underdog in all this, and I actually thought they'd be the last to get theirs out. I thought they gave up and quit. Turns out they're the first ones to finish. They are finished. The last figure's on the way. You can have yours completed as soon as it shows up. Mine will be 100% complete as soon as it shows up. And it looks good, and it was $150 to get all the combining parts, the trailer that turns into Minosaur and your Motor Master. $150. I thought that was a really great price. It really worked out very well. At the same time, I think it was not even a month later, X-Transbots put their Motor Master out. It was around the $130 price point, $125 or something like that. And I was shocked to see it didn't come with the combining parts. I really thought we'd get the trailer and it would combine and I'd be done with 2 sets. Or, pretty much done with 2 sets. Working on, finish up DX9, already done with X-Transbots. But it didn't come with the trailer. And I was shocked. Now, we're saying, let's say $130 for the X-Transbots versus the DX9 for $150. So, is the DX9 giving us the trailer for free? Or only for $20? I mean, that's crazy. I had no idea that they were going to charge a crazy amount of money for the trailer and combining parts. So now they're expecting another $300 to drop on what everybody figured was the budget option. And that completely destroys any illusion of X-Transbots being the budget option. It destroys the whole pricing structure and the expectation of even staying on board with collecting these. Even the fact that, hey, we got in on the low prices early on. And that is a problem for me. Now here is another issue. Do you go with the X-Transbots, and if you've already been in on this, do you spend $300? Do you take that $300 and put it into another set and just get another one just because of the fact, the principle that's involved, or the fact that you can almost get an entire DX9? Take your $300, get the Motor Master, build your Minosaur, get the 2 arms, not worry about the leg pieces. $350, you've got it done, completely done, and then use all your X-Transbots for whatever else you want to use them for. Bot mode, car mode, whatever. Or do you pump all that into working on a Fans Toys? We're also hearing that the Fans Toys combiner parts are going to come with the last bot. So the last bot is going to have the combiner parts. Now that's a bit off from what we're used to. We're used to the leader coming with those parts. But the fact that Fans Toys did everything completely different, having the trailer fully transform into the Motor Master is a big deal, a big difference. Now, we have no idea how it's going to transform. We have no idea what the parts even look like or how it's even going to work. But still, the expectation now is that we're going to be spending $220 to get the last Carbot. And if you extrapolate the current pricing, that's between $75 to $90 for their combining parts. So the premium, most expensive company is charging less than X-Transbots. So now it gets down to, Mike, are you just being cheap, Mike? You're just cheap. You can't afford it. It has absolutely nothing to do with affording it. So I've heard the argument, can you afford it or can you not afford it? The whole affordability. It doesn't matter. I could drop the $300 with no problem. That's not the problem. The problem is I don't see the $300 in value in it. One really good point that was brought up is, well, Mike, you spent the 450 on MP44. Well, that's a good point, but I didn't spend 450 and I wasn't going to. I spent 328 on mine. And do I feel like there's value in it? I do feel it's a bit more expensive, but at the end of the day, if I decided to get rid of it, do I think I could get my 328 out of the Optimus Prime MP44? Probably, especially since it comes with all of the parts that the KO does not come with, and some of these are desirable parts. They have a trailer and the human figures and all of that stuff. I probably could get my 328 back out of it. That makes it valuable enough. Will I get my 710 back out of this? I mean, that's what people are saying. The value, if you add all of this up, I mean, I got mine considerably less than that. It was be closer to like 600 because I ordered everything from Show Z. But the people that ordered them from the U.S. distributors that got the $710 in it, would those people get 710 out of it? I don't think so. I think that if you put this up for sale, people will be offering you $400. I'll give you $400 for it. And so therein lies the problem. Is it worth all the money we're pumping into this? Is this combiner worth it? So they went back to the drawing board and redesigned this figure, the combined mode, to add 1 centimeter. I think that was a waste of time. And there's a lot of problems with the fact that they even did this. The first problem is, I think that the prototype that I was on board with when I bought the first figure, the second figure, the third figure, the fourth figure, the Motormaster and everything, I was on board with the picture on the right. The picture on the left is what they're going to give us, and I don't think it looks as good. I think the redesign to make it taller was an aesthetic step backwards. Like, yes, you could have easily just enhanced everything from the first picture and taken it all up 1 centimeter. That would have been great. 1 centimeter. That's less than half of an inch. That's like a third of an inch or something along those lines. 2.54 centimeters per inch. So why? It's not that big of a difference. They're trying to make it as tall as the DX9, and it was barely shorter than the DX9. And you look at the two pictures here, so I think it looks worse now, and now we're going to pay the extra money on top of it. The extra money on top of that we're going to pay for their redesign to get a worse looking product, in my opinion. I'm curious what you guys got to say. And then the superfluous accessory pack. Now, nobody has backed me up on this saying that you could build it without it, but it kind of makes sense. One of the points brought to me is that this set is going to make it look more correct because they made the trailer bigger and the bot is bigger, so that the old bots just look too small on the frame and the exoskeleton compared to the original designs. 1 centimeter, guys, I don't think it's that big of a deal. Truthfully, the naked eye is not going to notice the difference. It's not going to be that big of a deal. And I truly don't like all of this. There's a few things I like, but I don't like all of this. I certainly don't like $75 of it. So now the question goes, what do you do if you're sitting around with 5 X-Transbots figures? You didn't go in on Fans Toys, you didn't go in on DX9. What do you do? Well, there's several options. First of all, you could pony up the 300, or in my opinion, just the 230, and get the trailer. Of course, if you get the trailer from Show Z, it's 200. That's just a fact. It's $199.99 right now, and sign up for the premium and all that stuff. You get all these extra award points, get down like $193. But that's one option. And don't get the accessory pack, and don't have to do all that extra bling on it. And I think it will work, but I can't guarantee it will work without the accessory pack. So there's that. The other thing that you can do is play the waiting game. As this thing sits on shelves in the base mode or whatever, third-party distributors not going to want to sit there with $70,000 worth of inventory not moving. They're going to want to put that inventory to work. They want to make some revenue, generate some revenue. They want to have some velocity money in their business here. And so they're going to put them on sale. These things, as they sit and not sell, will eventually find themselves on sale. Whatever season comes up, that's the next thing. They're going to put it on the chopping block to put it on sale. So if nobody buys these, because I don't see a lot of people that will pony up that crazy amount of money, then they will go on sale. And you know, half price or 60% price is a whole lot better than dropping $300 on them. But I truly think that the trailer itself is going to drop way down eventually. It may take a year. Of course, you can jump on the DX9 bandwagon, and I gotta say, if you're gonna jump on the DX9 bandwagon, you gotta do it quick, because I think a lot of people are gonna make that decision. Because Fans Toys is far from being done. DX9 is completely done. You know what you're getting with DX9. You don't really know what you're getting with Fans Toys. You're still in limbo. Nobody's really even reviewed X-Transbots yet. So once all this comes to light, the DX9 that's already barely even out there might be harder to get. And the reissue is not going to be as cheap as it was before. So a lot of factors going in. That's an option for you. But the one thing I would not do is fire sell my X-Transbots. Unless somebody's giving you pretty close to what you paid, I think that we're going to see a lot of X-Transbots, Stunticons flood the market. I really do. This is such a big issue. So many people are so upset. These figures are going to flood the market. And if I'm in on a second set, I might be able to get a second set for even half of what I paid here in a couple of months. Because so many people are fed up and just want to get rid of them, move on to another set. I wouldn't do that. I would not make a rash decision and sell them for a fraction of what you paid, because you'll regret that down the road. And then my last talking point is the future of X-Transbots. We know they're going to be working on a Defensor. They didn't show their Defensor. I think that they're going to have trouble moving any of these figures as individual bots, because nobody's going to want to jump on board with a big giant question mark at the end. Now the Protectobots are not going to have a trailer at the end, so that's not going to be an issue. But we have no idea how they're going to take on the combining pieces for this. So there's a lot of questions. Maybe MMC, who's fully upfront with what theirs is going to look like, how it's going to combine, what all you're going to need, might win this over, but I don't think MMC is big enough for my taste and my shelf. So we need an X-Transbots or a DX9 or a Fans Toys to really fit my shelf well. But I gotta say, if no one else comes along, MMC might be my only option. So let me know what you think. Was it helpful at all to you to hear me go through all of this fun stuff? I've had a lot of thoughts and a lot of ideas. I actually was gonna just be out on it, but I've got mine pre-ordered through Show Z, and I want to hear what you guys think, where you guys are at on all this. Like, subscribe, Try to Hanger out.